Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey there, everybody. My name's Evan, and I'm a dumb dad.
Cheers.
Cheers, dummy.
How are you?
You know, keeping it dumb. Let's just put it that way.
Keeping it dumb?
I don't know. You know,
Okay.
that's kind of our vibe here. So try not to. Try to keep the dumb silent.
You're failing.
Often it screams out loud. Yeah. Well, yes, I know. That's why we made this podcast. I'll start with this. How was your week? Because we already know my week.
We do know your week. Let's just get into your week.
Okay. My dumb dad moment right off the top. From the top ropes right here.
Okay.
My dumb dad moment was on this podcast.
Yeah.
I think you know where this is going.
I know exactly, but I want
I
to hear
I know.
you say it.
I sat here with a big stupid smile on my face and was like, "Gee, man,
The whole month of December.
yeah, whole month of December. You were sick the whole time. Your family was sick all winter break. We didn't really get sick.
Oh, you guys are going through it.
Yeah, well, boy, man, I feel bad for you because everyone's sick.
That's not it. Finish it.
My daughter got sick.
Not just that.
I jinxed it.
She's sick.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not going to revel in her illness. But you did multiple times. My kids are fine.
my kids are fine.
That was
We
the
didn't
cherry
get
on
sick.
top.
Yeah, my kids are fine. Nobody really got sick. Yeah, daughter got sick. It's been 8 days, and we're just in the thick of it. It's whatever. Kids get sick. But I realized
Every
I was like,
kid's sick
man,
right
it's like when I realized my daughter was sick, and I was like, man, she's not going to school. And then like the way she's coughing and the on and off fever, it's like she's not going to school for a little bit here.
Yeah.
It's not like, we'll see how she feels tomorrow. Like, this is going to be a few days. And here we are, still waiting.
You're in a weird position because your daughter is sick now, and you're like the guy who you're like Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Like you were you were like passed
I'll
out.
tell you what, Kevin.
You were passed out
Feels like
while
it's
the world was like on fire, and we were all us parents out there. We're all just like struggling to like, our kids are sick and just let's get through it. Okay, they're sick with something else. Let's just keep pulling through and we keep doing it. And then like everything's starting to settle. I think we're getting used to this life. And you walk in, you go, "Do you guys know there's zombies outside?"
And they don't look friendly at all, and they're all sick and gross. Yeah. Daughter got sick, in the thick of it, home with her all day. And she,
How's that going?
man, here's the thing. Because it's my youngest, it just breaks my heart. She's got like this mousy little voice because she could like barely talk. We think she has like RSV. I mean, she's basically been coughing really bad. The first thing that happened, she got an ear infection. She came in one night at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know, not even 3, like might have been like midnight. My ear hurts, Mommy, my ear hurts so bad. We're like, oh man, she must have an ear infection. Now, I remember last week I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be taking her to school tomorrow.
Right.
I did kind of, and I told you like the way she had the sniffles today, she was kind of like over today.
Yeah.
Made me think, I bet she's going to wake up sick. Lo and behold, she woke up sick. Double ear infection turned into runny nose, postnasal drip, day after day. She's got a nasty cough, the whole 9 yards. So we're just trying to get through it with her. So for listeners that remember, like when my daughter was really young, she was about 18 months or so, she had the flu. And then because she was so malnourished and dehydrated because she couldn't keep anything down, she ended up having a seizure. I had to take her to the ER. The ambulance came and got us. The whole thing, it was pretty scary, but there's a little bit of like when she's feeling sick and she's really not feeling well and like doesn't want to eat anything, I can feel like the stress of it all build up a little bit. It's like starting to get to that feeling that it was like when she was sick and we couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
Now she's 4, she gets it a little bit more. Now she's doing a good job taking her medication, even though she thinks it tastes gross and stuff. She doesn't really have an appetite, but she, that's just kind of where we are now with it. And because of all this, she's been coming into our room and sleeping in our room at like early, midnight 1. And like two nights ago, we were setting up for bedtime.
You're not going to the couch?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Part of me like feels, the thing is like I feel bad because she's a lot more pressed up against my wife
Great,
So
get
I
out
feel
of there.
that- right,
Get out of there.
But whether I'm there or not doesn't
Yeah.
matter. She doesn't like stretch out like, oh, thank God he's out of here.
You don't know until you're gone.
Well, we've tried it
A
before.
tree.
We've tried it before.
If a dumb dad falls in the woods.
So a couple nights ago, she's like, we're setting up for a bedtime and stuff. Starting to, she's sick, and she's like, we're like putting pajamas on, and she goes and gets like a blanket and a pillow and just marches right into our room and like tosses it onto our bed. This is it. Like, we aren't necessarily going to bed. Yeah, we're just prepping for bed.
Yeah.
My wife's like, oh, is that where you're sleeping tonight? Yep. Lynn's like, yeah, I need it. You know it. That's what's going to happen. So it's been night after night for like a week of like not sleeping well.
Do you guys ever sleep in her bed? Because I know with my son, when he was sick, my wife was, and I've said this before on the podcast, it's this weird thing with my son. When he comes to our bed, I mean, Chuck Norris. I mean, he's just swinging hook
it's the
kicks
same.
everywhere.
Yeah, we get hands in the face,
Yep.
knees in the back.
In his bed, he does do that, but he does that at like 6 a.m. because he's starting to like wake up. And sometimes that can last. But no, it's the thing. He does it all night long in our bed. But if you just go, no, we're going to your bed, and I lay down with him, happened last night. He came in at like 3 a.m, and I was like, let's go back to your bed. And I laid down with him, and I slept till, I had to wake up.
Yeah.
And it was great. My wife like shook me, and that was one of those moments that was so disorienting because it was her hand shaking me, and I was like, what's happening? And then it was just like, where am I?
Yeah. And you're in a kid's bed. It's like your mom's waking you up.
Yeah.
But you're sleeping with your future self. It's so weird.
Is it a snow day?
Please be a snow day. And I don't know why we haven't done that. I don't know why we haven't done that. She always just comes into our bed. I think it's because normally like she comes into our bed at like anywhere between like 3 and 4 o'clock, like 3 days a week, and she sleeps off the rest of the morning, and it's never that big of a deal. So she's more comfortable there.
You started with saying it was a big deal.
Yeah, well,
I'm trying to help you here, man.
yeah, I'm doing my best. And
if I was a therapist, I'd be like, you're backtracking.
You're running in circles.
Yeah.
Sleeping in them too. And so she comes to our bed. She's like, that's where I'm sleeping, that whole situation. So we're not sleeping well. She's not sleeping well. She's like sputtering, coughing. We moved the humidifier into our room. That's the thing. We're trying to just put the humidifier wherever it needs to be in our room now. And I told my wife like 2 days ago, I was like, I'm just like emotionally drained from this. Like from her being sick. Here's the thing, my son's 8. When he's sick, like he knows he's sick. He knows he's just got to kind of get over it in some way.
Yeah.
We're there for him, obviously. Like, suck it up. But it's like, he understands like what's happening. She's 4. She still doesn't quite get, because you can ask her like, how you feeling this morning, honey? Good.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
I would just visually, I beg to differ. But so there's just a little bit of like hand holding through a lot of it, which is fine. She's so like wonderfully pathetic. She's just the saddest little thing, feeling good, like really. And I told my wife, I'm like, I'm just like emotionally drained from all this. I feel so bad for her. Neither of us are sleeping well.
Yeah.
The whole thing. And so today was like the first day I got her to get out of the house. We just needed to go get some birdseed. I was like, will you just come with me to go get some birdseed? Didn't really want to go, but she was like feeling okay enough today to where it was like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
So I get her all dressed up and everything. And we go to the hardware store, and like I'm so done with the week. I just want her to get better so she can get back to school. We can get back on our schedule. And the other thing you should know is that like my daughter, maybe more so with my wife than she ever is with me, she's not a real cuddler. She doesn't, it's kind of rare that she will really like want to like cuddle in with you.
Yeah.
And so we're at the hardware store. We get what we need. I get the shopping cart because it's going to be hard to carry all this stuff around and probably deal with her. But a lot of the time she likes to be carried. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall a little bit, like, and she doesn't feel well. So she's like, can you pick me up? I'm like, yep. So I pick her up and I go, do you want to sit in the cart here in the front? Like, so we could be close to each other? She just like shook her head no. And then I go, do you want to ride in the big part of the cart and sit on the bird seat? And I can, I'm trying to make it fun for her. She's like, no. She shakes her head no. And I go, okay, well, it's about time to leave anyway. And she just like cuddles into me and puts her warm little head on my shoulder. And I basically started crying.
Okay.
at the hardware store
Sure.
because that never happens.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for her. Again, it's like day 8 for her, where it's like
And
she's
it's day
trying.
8, and it's day 8 for you.
It's day 8,000 of what it feels like. And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just the emotion of it all. Now I'm just trying to get to the front and like not make any eye contact with any of the employees. I wasn't losing it, but it was like tears are welling up in my eyes. And I
Like,
was
did you have any trouble finding everything? And you're like, no. And they're like, are you sure? You look like you had trouble finding.
in general? No, we're having a week over here, and I just need to pay for the bird seat and leave. So that was today. Probably not going to school tomorrow. My fingers are crossed for the day after. I think is where what we're going to shoot for. Because I'll say today, still kind of the same symptoms, all that kind of stuff, but she had a little bit of a better spirit to her today. So, but I'm paying for it. Luckily, it's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. She's not like violently ill or anything like that. But we got sick after everybody else, and everyone's out of Tylenol. We cannot find Tylenol.
They were out of Tylenol in December. Again, the zombies have been here for a while. We've known about this. No, there's not a cure. You just kind of have to get through
I'm
it.
the guy walking into
Don't
the movie.
get bit.
I'm walking into the movie halfway going, this is a crazy movie. You guys
Yeah.
watching this? Like, we're living it. What are you talking about?
Like, guys, good news, though. There's plenty of milk at the grocery store. We're like, don't drink that milk.
It must be a new way to make milk because it's not refrigerated.
Yeah.
But they're stocked full shelves. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, there we are. Jinxed myself on the podcast. I did it on the podcast.
Well, hang in there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Any cliche answer you can give me
Yeah.
is all going to be like, it'll all be over soon, and then we'll go back to school. Like, what?
Isn't that a funny thing with your... Because, you let your hand show a little there with the oldest and the youngest. It's so funny. And most people are this way. I'm probably this way to a degree. And it's just funny how you're just like, it's just my youngest and I worry about her and I'm upset. My oldest, he's 8. He's fine. You'll get through it. And then you tell this long story about your youngest.
I know.
A little warm head on my shoulder. But my oldest, it's like, it's a cold, buddy. It's a cold. You're going to get a million more before you die.
And no, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
It's a cold. Get over yourself.
Oh, great. Look, he's crying now.
Yeah.
Oh, are you okay, honey? Am I yelling too
I'm
loudly?
a sap for
Hey,
stuff like
am
this.
I yelling too loudly
I'm
at your
sorry.
brother for you?
I'm so bad about that. I'm so bad about it. She's wrapped around her little finger. I'll do whatever she says. I'm so bad about it.
That's good. I've had my kids at school.
You lucky bastard.
I got through it. And yeah, that's been weird. We've been back in it. And it's Spirit Week. So that's been fun.
Yeah, it is. Me too. Mine are low. How are yours?
Yeah. Spirit Week immediately takes the spirit out of all parents.
Yeah. It's layered, isn't it? Isn't that fun how layered that is? Spirit Week. Oh, groans and celebrations.
Real inside baseball joke there. Elementary school.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're just starting that. That's going fine so far.
Day one was
tie-dye.
tie-dye.
Tomorrow's going to be crazy hair.
Which I loved because speaking of inside baseball, but we were filming over here as your wife was preparing for tie-dye with your kids making the tie-dye and knowingly so it was all over her hands.
Yeah, and my son's.
Has it washed off yet or is it still there? And your son's, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about tie-dye. When it's going to get on stuff and it's not going to go away for a while.
It's going to stay
or
for a bit.
Or at all.
So it's funny because my wife made a shirt for all of us, but it's just my daughter's school is doing tie-dye. And my wife, I think, dropped her off wearing her tie-dye shirt with like a zip-up hoodie open. But I know, a California baby, it's really windy and it's been cold. So I was wearing a jacket and I was wearing a sweatshirt over my tie-dye. I was like, she's just got to trust me that I'm wearing it. When I picked her up.
I can feel that it's on. I can feel that it's on. I will say what's funny to me about tie-dye, I've never been able to figure out how to wear it. I'm not the guy that wears tie-dye shirts all the time. I can't figure out how to pull it off. And I like the idea of them. I can't figure out how to do it. I can't fit it into my
Confidence.
Yeah, I think it's confidence. Because
a lot of style.
I've made it a bunch. I've done it like twice with the kids.
Yeah.
It's actually a really fun project, and it's fun to like kind of try to figure it out a little bit. But then I end up thinking like, but I'm not going to wear it. I want to.
It's like making a pastry sweet that you're like, I'll have a bite of this.
I need to see like it's sometimes you got to see one of the things like, here's how to style this item. Wear this with this, and you think like, oh, that's a look. They figured out the look. I don't have the look because I think like maybe simple tie dye and jeans and Vans, like cool, but it's like, why are you wearing a tie dye shirt?
Come on, guys, everybody, write in, help lift Evan's spirits.
They're low.
Let's figure this out. How to get
what's tomorrow?
How to get
Evan
Evan in tie dye for the next podcast?
Give me the rundown of the week. What's next?
What's next? Well, I don't know what's next, but I can
tomorrow.
Tell you, tomorrow is crazy hair. I thought you were saying what's next in just life.
No. Tomorrow, if you can get
tomorrow's
there.
crazy hair, and then
okay,
but we'll get through the week. It'll be fine. I will say, my son, this was kind of a dumb dad moment. And I've done it before. Which is I took him to the grocery store, and that was a stupid idea. I shouldn't have done it.
It's so funny to me that your kid's like, you can't take him to the grocery store.
He's great. He's exactly what you expect him to be. They're both. You know what it is? It's two different energies. If it was like, I've got a boy and a girl who are 3 years apart. They're just in different places in life.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's two different energies that I've got to wrangle. I've got a dancer who's singing and can't hear anything anyone's saying. And then I've got
what's great about that is like, first of all, don't lose that. Dance like nobody's watching, right?
No.
Don't lose that. She's going to lose it.
Yeah, one comment from one person.
One comment from one person.
To remember the rest of her life, and it'll impact her as a person, and it will define who she is.
Yeah, and then save for therapy.
Life is great.
And spirits are low. But I love that. But to me, what's funny is like, so you don't want him to lose it, but you also don't want him to dance in the grocery store.
Correct.
You know,
near the glass pasta jars.
Because you could break something, or there's also like the free spirit. Love the free spirit. But when it's like you're free spiriting in front of somebody else who's just trying to get their fucking grocery shopping done.
They just
so they're like, congrats, you're a fun dad. Can your kids get out of my way so I can go get my...
within 1 second whether or not the person is having it with your child dancing. Immediately you tell by their face.
Yeah.
They tell you immediately.
With their eyes.
With
their eyes.
Hey, man, I need food to live. Get your kid out of my way.
It's where they're looking. Because, like, you know that your daughter is dancing in front of somebody. So then you look at that person. Now, if they're looking at the daughter, they're cool with it. Mm-hmm. If by the time you look at them, they're already looking at you, not cool with it.
Also not cool with it is if they never look at you, though. There's a bunch of different variations. Another one is like they pull around the corner with the cart.
That's true.
My daughter almost runs into them. She goes, "Oh, sorry," and they just give a toothless grin, not smile.
Yeah,
still dead eyes.
Yeah, pursed lips a little bit. Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing there looking, and I'm like, "Sorry." And they just keep moving, and they never look at me. I'm like, furious.
Boiling inside. Because they can't yell at a kid in public.
No, they control your child is all that's going on. Control your child, control your child, control your child, control your child. Anyway, I brought my son. It was great. I brought him because we were running a couple errands, and I think we'd already gone to like Target and got some groceries, and it was the four of us, and it was fine. But of course, we left and we were like, "Oh, we could have used a couple more things. Whatever, we'll get him. We'll get him some other time."
Right.
And then
you can always go back.
And always, because you're good.
Because you know what? Because you need to.
Because you need to.
Yeah.
And then the kids would just like run ragged. I'm gonna go on another tangent real quick about this. What? Hear me out. What?
I'm gonna ride this with you. I'm riding with you.
What do we do about our kids' energy? Because I can have a day where it's like, man, I feel bad. They kind of were on screens all day and they're bouncing off the walls at bedtime. Or I can take them to Discovery Cube. Or no, the aquarium. Because that's what we did this weekend.
Yeah.
Went to the aquarium. Now, it's a long drive there. It's like 45 minutes there. But we're there for a long time. and where they're walking around for hours and hours and hours and hours. And then
And are we curbing the dancing there, or is we just like
free
spirit,
spirit,
dance
go
away?
wild.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Nobody's looking for food here. Just hit whoever you want. To a point. But yeah, we're trying to, we don't want to curb it too much. This is a fun experience.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Sure.
Get off that. You're going to
Look
fall in the tank.
Maybe
but
look at a
otherwise,
fish. Just look at a
dance.
fish
Yeah.
so we know that you could, because you could dance in the yard. Just look at a fish.
Yeah. And it's like the classic, like, I think my daughter was being like resistant too. She's like, I want to go to the aquarium. And I was like, why don't you want to go to the aquarium? And she was just like, I know like everything about like ocean animals. And I was like, okay, I will make you a deal. Let's go there.
Free spirit. Self-confidence at maximum capacity
we
right
all
now.
could use it. We could all use it. I was like, how about we just go there and we can see if we can learn a couple things.
Yeah.
Let's make that our mission. And
Mhm.
if I'll make you a deal. If you don't learn anything there, we don't ever have to go back ever again.
Yeah.
We have a year membership. This is a real bluff, but I know that she doesn't know
Yeah,
everything.
We're going back.
I just
We're
need to
gonna-
read
Yeah.
one plaque. Just read one and I win.
Yeah. I think the only
One per trip, and we'll go in for a couple of years.
The only thing you can do is celebrate it. To answer your question, your kid's energy. Because if you resent it, you're just the
it's
dad.
not that. That's not my problem. No, my problem isn't that. My problem is we do this all day. We go to the aquarium.
Yeah.
Has a great time. Funny enough, doesn't want to leave because I'm having such a great time. And
Yeah.
that's I didn't want to go. Now I
Boy,
don't want to
that'll
leave.
make you boil inside every time.
Yeah,
Like
that'll make
you
me-
say you don't want to go to the aquarium, you're wrong.
Yeah, and now you don't want to leave. Great. But the point is, if it's a day where it's too much screens, or if it's a day like we did a lot of activities and walking around and stuff, they are still just these hyper balls of energy by the end of the night that like doesn't.
And now you're the dad going, how?
Where
does it go?
Yeah, where's this coming from? It's just I just don't get it. I don't know what we can do.
Survive.
It's just funny.
That's all you can do is survive.
My wife and I literally had this conversation Saturday night because
Yeah.
the kids just like, again, we've talked about this on the other podcasts. Like, we go in their room, we read them books, we do them like nighttime meditations, we lay down with them, and they're still just up and moving around.
It doesn't matter,
going wild.
They are a bottomless pit of energy.
Yeah.
That they are the only ones have access to the on and off switch,
Mm-hmm.
and they can decide to turn it on and off whenever they want.
And then when
But they're also little kids, and so they leave it on sometimes,
Yep.
and they forget to turn it off.
I forget.
And you don't get to understand why or how. just deal with it.
It's not for you. Anyway,
You just have to deal with it.
so we were coming back from a big day of all these activities, and stupidly enough, I saw a house in our neighborhood with an open house sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm gonna go check it out. And my wife was like, yeah, go check it out real quick. I was like, I'm gonna pop in. I know you guys are been looking, so I was
Yeah.
like, I'll just poke my head in and see if it's a house and be like, hey, I know you saw this one, but it's cool or it's terrible. So I'm like about to go in, and my son's like, I want to go with you. And I was like, buddy, I'm just gonna pop in. It's like almost done. And he was like, started like bawling his eyes out.
And I forgot also, no kids allowed. They have signs out front. I know
Yeah.
you can't read, but trust me, that's definitely
I
want
want to be in and out. And if I bring you, I'm not even looking at the house. I'm just chasing you. An empty house, 0 obstacles.
We have done that. Like we go with our kids. We have to
Yeah.
remind them, like when we go to open house to try to look for a home. It's like, guys, this is someone else's house.
Yeah.
First of all, stop running.
Cool it.
Yeah. The hide and seek, stop it. I don't know where the good spots are here, and if you find one, we're in real trouble.
It's gonna be a closet. I'll find you in the closet. It's your only option. Anyway, I went to go look at the house. It was the guy must have left early because it wasn't there, and I was like, okay. So I just walked right back. I'd ruined my son. Like he was just like that,
Yeah.
like exhausted mess.
I noticed it's been a bit of a pattern. You're
Yeah.
promising you're taking your son somewhere, and then getting close to taking him there, and then turning around and coming home.
What was the other one?
When he was sick, and you were like going to take him to school, and then you got halfway to school, and you were like,
He doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember this morning. But to make it up to him, I was like, hey, buddy, you know what? We need to grab a couple things from the grocery store. Do you want to come with me? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, great. So like I dropped my wife and daughter off at school, went and took them to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And this was kind of like the dumb dad moment. Like a kid who's clearly at his wit's end
mm-hmm.
Now I bring him to a grocery store, and he's just pumped to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I made a good choice, a smart choice, because he's happy. I made him happy. I did a good thing. Anyway.
Just keep telling yourself that.
Yeah. So anyway, he's like, what do we need? And I was like, we only need like 3 or 4 things.
Dad, let's make a list. First of all, where's the list?
Yeah. I think I can remember it. So I was like, we need cherry tomatoes. Can we grab some cherry tomatoes? He's like, yep. He grabs them, and he just dunks them into the cart. Like full on, like hanging on the rim, dunks them in. Here's the thing. They're cherry tomatoes in those like barely closed plastic cones. It explodes in such a way in there that all of the tomatoes, all of them, go through the whatever it is,
the holes,
the wiring, and whatever it is of the cart. Not a single one stayed in there. They all just went out, and he just like his reaction was great. He didn't get upset or anything. He just went, "Oh, our tomatoes are everywhere."
He didn't turn around and flex for everybody. Like, it was like, that's basically the equivalent of shattering the backboard.
Yeah.
So
So
you posterize somebody and you just hang there for a second.
And
yeah.
so he helped me pick him up, but you know, it didn't go great.
How many? 50? 50 tomatoes?
It felt like it. And the employee was
Might
like,
as well have been 1,000.
I mean, the employee was like right there. When I'm looking for honey, because I can never remember what aisle honey's in, nowhere to be found. Can't find an employee. I'm not going to go to the checkout line. They're busy. It's packed. You drop 1 million baby tomatoes on the ground.
Where does your mind go when you're when you're looking for honey and you can never remember who it is? Whose fault is it? Is it your fault or the people that set up the store? You know what I mean? Are you marching around going, well, if they set this up correctly, I'd find it every time?
No, I'm like trying
or is
to.
it like, how stupid am I that I can't remember where honey is?
Honey's funny to me because I'm like, all right, well, where would honey be? Let's see. It would be in
the amount of
baking
puns you're making right now is absolutely insane.
So I'm buzzing around the store looking for it and
combing over every aisle.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like it should be in the same spot. Like we'd all have a hive mind of where it would be.
Yep. There it is. Keep going. Throw a counter up.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm every
So
time I
aisle.
go to get honey, I'm like, where would it be located? Oh, it's probably be in the baking section.
Uh-huh.
No, not there. Then I'll go to like cereal. No, but syrup's there. Just put them next to each other. They're close. They're
Tell you,
close.
my first thought would be sauces, and then you're like, no, it's stupid. It's not a sauce.
It's not sauce. But then you check soups anyway. What am I doing?
It's because you're distracted trying to get the hell out of there. Because your son, you're wondering what he's going to spill next.
Honestly, I think it's in the tea aisle. I think it's with tea, which is like, yeah, sure.
I love that. Like,
listen,
you just went there. You still don't know where it is.
I don't know for sure. I'm not going to say confidently. People listen to
No,
this podcast.
Kevin, confidence. What did we just talk about?
It's just annoying because, like, yes, we put honey in our tea, but like, no, what other things first? Like, primarily tea? No, get out of here.
What's the top 3 things you put honey in above tea?
I don't use honey that much. Actually, that's not true. Recipes, yogurt.
Yogurt, okay.
Recipes would be one first.
You ever
That's why I think it would be in baking.
My kids love honey toast. Toast, honey.
That'd piss me off if it was in the bread aisle.
Yeah. Oh boy, it would, wouldn't it? How stupid is this? The bread aisle? Really? I'll tell you what. I went shopping. I saw a Dumb Dad.
You know what?
Today.
Just put it next to the mayo. I don't know. Why not?
Or the gum at the front.
Put it at
That'd
the
be
front.
nice.
That'd be nice.
Right next to Us Weekly.
Honey's up there with one of the things you forget, you know? Stop putting like men's razors at the front. Like I know us guys are dummies, but I saw that last time I was at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Men's razors. I
Didn't
was like,
appreciate that.
just put something that I actually could go, oh yeah, like baking powder. That'd be great. Wouldn't that be great if that was in the front?
Yeah, I'm going to go with baking aisle on that one. I saw a Dumb Dad moment today. I saw one happen like I had front row tickets to it. We're at Target. We're going down the escalator. I'm holding my daughter. Okay. Go down the escalator. Our Target's huge, by the way. People might be like, the escalator. Our Target's massive. It's got an escalator. There's 2 floors. We're going down the escalator.
A lot of Targets are 2 floors.
I don't know. When I moved to California, I was like, there's an escalator in the Target? Anyway.
Okay.
When we're going down the escalator, I see this dad get on the escalator with his little baby. Baby's probably, maybe not baby. I would say, not baby, not toddler. I'm going to go a year and a half maybe, about how big this kid is, right? He gets on the escalator. Where does he put his kid?
In the shopping cart that goes up?
No.
Oh, that'd been great.
Yeah, it would have been great. I think this is arguably worse.
Because there's a shot in it's certain Targets and certain places that have escalators with shopping carts. You can put in the little middle thing that grabs the cart.
There's like a track,
and it perfectly holds it flat.
Yeah.
And I'd love to go up one.
You push, you put the cart in there and it goes up by itself with your stuff in it or whatever, and you ride alongside of it. Also, side note, I gotta give a shout out to whoever invented this. The escalator is like 15% faster than the track the cart's on.
Yeah.
Because you always arrive at the top before your cart, even though you put the cart in first. I've always appreciated that. Yeah. Moving on. Where's the guy put the kid? On the railing. On the outside railing.
Okay.
Right? Holding the kid.
For like a fun experience.
For a fun experience.
Yeah.
You can sit here, and he's got like the kid, with 2 hands around the rib cage underneath the armpits.
Yeah, he's doing great so far.
Yeah. But you could make the argument like,
sure.
What are you doing?
Sure.
What are you doing, man? Like that's not. First of all, they're not gonna. What are you doing? Could be a little dangerous. You sneeze. That's a problem.
What?
I don't know. But the kid's like, he's not dangling the kid over the edge.
You think if he sneezes, he's just gonna chuck the kid?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he sneezes. He's got the kid there. So in my mind, I'm thinking like the kid's giggling, the dad's giggling, right? Who do I see? Who do I see next?
The mom?
Yeah. At the bottom with the cart, looking up with the laser dead, what is wrong with you look? And I look at him and he's looking down, and then I see her waving the finger. No.
Oh, she waves a finger?
Waves the finger.
How old was she?
I don't know.
Finger. Maybe she's a teacher.
I don't know. She was not happy about the decision. I was just internally laughing so hard, thinking like, I just saw that. So funny. It's the fun dad with the mom going, "That's my baby too. Don't ever do that again."
Just have fun.
I was just trying to have fun. Like she's laughing. Listen.
And then she said, "What if you had sneezed?"
I would have put her on the stairs. I told you I would have put.
You remember what happened to the dog?
She couldn't see the Grand Canyon. I wanted to show her over the fence.
But I'm allergic to dust.
I loved it so much. It was like such a great, the only platform for retelling it is here. I saw a dumb demo. I saw this guy because it was like nice. You wouldn't get it if you're not there, if you haven't been there doing the thing where your wife's like, "No, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I'll tell you what. They were going upstairs to look for something, and she was going to finish shopping downstairs. But when they came back, they had a conversation about it. I'll tell you that much right now.
I sure did.
Yeah,
sure did. I will end with this, and then we move on to. I think we have a
user submission, so we'll go. We're just going to keep the theme going. But tell me something.
My son did this thing today, and I saw him do something similar to it, and I hope it's not a trend. Keep in mind, keep an eye on your kid when they're at the playground. Always. Yeah. That's an important. I don't feel like I should have to say this.
I don't get how. I see parents sometimes just like leisurely sitting on the bench and their kids just playing. I like wander around. I can't do that.
You can't sit still?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I kind of like perimeter walk, keep an eye on, check in. I don't know. Because I feel if I sit in one spot and they're going too far away, then now what am I doing?
We were watching them far away.
But the playground's big sometimes. You gotta hold your position.
Hold your position. I've done both, and they both work. Okay. They both work. You just have to be very vigilant when you're just sitting. That's the thing.
Okay.
Or I'm like one of those great playgrounds that are like super locked in on all sides. Then it's like,
go nuts. I'm gonna take a nap.
Watch a movie on your phone. Don't do that. But I was at the playground, and it was like I said, it was really windy and like cold. It's funny. It wasn't like that cold, but the wind made it just not fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the picked up my son from preschool, and I was like, you gotta wear the jacket if you want to play, but it's a big puffy coat because we're Californians.
and it's windy, so it's like
tundra.
freezing cold
oh
here.
my gosh. So he wore it for like 20 minutes before he took it off. I was like, I get it.
I get
and
it.
then
You're sweating.
Yeah. Then he's playing for like 20, 25 more minutes. And I am on my phone. I'm not a human.
You're not a weirdo.
Yeah. I'm not just eyes locked like a psycho. I'm checking my phone, and I look up, and my son is he's just leaving. I mean, it's just going. He's not far.
How does he have this theme of this?
He's not far.
He did this at your daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
Where are you going? I'm going home.
Yeah, that's what it was.
First of all, you're not even going the right way.
I walked up to him and I went, "Hey, bud, hold on, come here." And he stopped without a look of busted.
Yeah.
He just stopped, turned around, came back to me like, "Sup? What do you do?"
Did you need someone?
She's doing because I'm getting out of here. So
This party's done.
Is this something we can talk about tomorrow? I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you at home.
I'll see you at home.
What are we doing?
He's like, "You're gonna get home, okay? How are you getting home, Dad?"
Well, I drove you. What?
What's happening? But I was like, "Are you going home?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going home." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'd love to come if I can." And he's like, "I think there's room in the car." Great. Just real quick, in the future, could you just tell me when you want to go home? We can go home anytime you want.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm your driver. I'll take you there.
You just wouldn't get far.
Yeah. I love that so much. Scary for you.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Yeah.
That's scary. In a real way. That's scary that he's like, I'm out of here. Wouldn't you just love to know that if he's going to be safe, where he'd go?
Yeah, if I wanted to, I won't. Nobody write in.
That's what I'm saying.
But it would
The
be
curiosity's
It would be
there.
nice, like I'm tailing him,
Yeah, exactly.
and just like
You play PI.
Let's see how far he goes before he goes. I know what I did wrong.
I think I've bitten off more than I can chew
I
here.
remembered I don't drive or have any sense of direction
Where
or
I
know
am.
where I am right now.
And it's just dawned on me, approximately quarter mile from the playground.
But I'm still hiding for some reason.
Yeah.
He looks around and he sees my head just kind of whoop behind a tree.
But I have mudded my face to protect against the mosquitoes.
He turns around and he sees a man-shaped bush with sunglasses on. That's me.
Just as if he's about to go check his snares.
And I'm like, "You ready to go home yet?" He's like, "Did that bush just ask me a question?"
I must be losing it. I got to get back to the playground.
I need to drink more water. Dad's right.
He's going to be...
He is a handful. He's
a
gonna
handful.
be.
I love him every second of it.
Well-
From the cherry tomatoes to the piecing out at the playground. I love him.
He's got his own spirit. It's great. It's costing me a lot, physically and mentally.
Emotionally.
So you have a dumb parent submission.
We got a user submission here. And here's the thing. This is what this is all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
We try to minimize the dumb dad moments, but they're going to be there because parenting is insane. But we like to talk about them to normalize that parenting is not perfect and we don't really know what we're doing a lot of the time. So please send them in to us. DM us on Instagram @thedumbdads.
Yeah.
Send them to us via electronic mail, dumbdadpod@gmail.com. We like reading these. We like knowing that other parents out there are going, you know what? I had a kind of a not good moment, and here it is. Right? It makes us feel a little bit better about parenting.
Of course it does.
So here we go. This one is sent to us from Jason. Jason writes, "Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a dumb dad."
Hi, Jason.
Couldn't appreciate that more. Jason knows what's up. For Christmas a few years ago, we decided to go big on physical activities. My son got a big kid bike. My daughter got a basketball hoop.
Okay.
Obviously, hiding these sorts of gifts wasn't going to be easy. The bike we dragged in the cover of night into the basement and hid it behind some boxes. The basketball hoop was a huge box that weighed 120 pounds with a picture of kids playing basketball that wouldn't fit through the door even if I tried. There was no way there wouldn't be questions if that sort of thing was laying in the garage, what have you. So we waited as late as possible to have that delivered and hid it in the van. while which I think is legit. Like that's a pretty good way to do it. I know what you're saying, like you have to explain a box that size.
Yeah.
But also it's like the biggest thing in the garage other than the car. Anyway, while coming up with the excuses for why my daughter needed to get driven around in my wife's car, then the day came. Christmas Eve always involves assembly. That's Christmas Eve for a lot of parents.
Oh.
Assembly Eve. But surely this wouldn't take long. How many parts could there be, right?
This is already a dumb dad moment.
Yeah, I know.
Christmas Eve doesn't have to be assembly day.
But arguably with something this big, I see where he's going with this. Like, where does it go?
There's
a monster in the garage. You can't go in the garage.
Yeah. There's
Yeah, easy.
so many spiders.
Easy. There's an infestation.
Show them arachnophobia the night before. That's what's going on in the garage.
Just after 11, I pulled all the parts out of the box, and I mean that's starting to the comeback at the fourth
Just
quarter.
After 11 is not Christmas Eve; it's Christmas.
You're on the cusp. I pulled all the parts out of the box and arranged them across the garage floor. 3 hours later, Christmas, I was drenched in sweat and had almost all of it put together. All I needed to do was lock the spring for the breakaway rim into place, something I had just spent the last 30 minutes trying to do. As I stood there panting, snowflakes falling onto the driveway, I was such a mess that a deer just sauntered up to me and stood there watching me in my weakness. Okay. I gave up on the spring and decided to just fix it once my daughter could actually reach the rim, and proceeded to stand the hoop up and try to wheel it down to the curb. Now, you might not realize it, but this was my dumb dad moment. Not the inept ability to think through assembly of a child's gift. That's just baseline dad. No, this is the dumb dad moment.
You assembled it not where it needs to be?
The hoop was in my garage, under my open garage door, with a clearance of 8 feet.
There we go.
The hoop was 10 feet at its smallest. There was no way to stand it up. Which meant there was no way to get it on its wheels to easily wheel it down. After dragging it for 20 minutes, I was finally out of the garage, at which point I stood it up on my steeply sloped driveway, had it come down on top of me.
Oh, how many deer are watching by this point?
Then I managed to recover it enough to get it down and up onto the curb. Stay dumb, fellas.
Oof.
You know what that is?
That's a great one.
It's a really good one. And it's like, that's when you're standing in the grocery store and there's cherry tomatoes everywhere. That's not when you're at your peak decision-making performance, right? When you're like, I don't know what to do anymore, and this deer's watching me. That's when you really start to panic, and you don't know what. It's an employee, yeah. That was staring at you like a deer. Yeah. Sauntered up to you in the cold snow. It was in the freezer aisle.
Except Jason could have used. It would have been great for Jason if the deer had said what the employee did, which was just like, just get out of the. I'll do it. Just move. I got it. It's fine. Just leave it there. I'll get it.
Threw it on a harness and walked it down to the curb for him.
Oh, threw it on its antlers.
Well, I'd imagine just maybe if it was like a reindeer, he'd be used to, maybe it was like no, that's not true because he would have been working. He would have been working that night.
Yeah, it's a work night.
Yeah, it's a work night. Why are you assembling that so late on a work night? Did that deer just speak to me?
I gotta go to bed.
There you have it. An episode full of dumb dad moments.
Yep.
And that's what we're all about here at the Dumb Dad Podcast.
That's what we're doing. Tell us if you're doing the same. Right into us, as Evan said. Mm-hmm. Give us a follow on all social media. We're at The Dumb Dads on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, where you can watch full episodes of this podcast.
That's right.
And rate and review this podcast if you haven't done it already. It helps the growth of the podcast if you guys can rate it if you haven't already, and then share it with a dumb dad out there who needs to hear that he's part of the course.
He's not alone.
He's not doing as bad as he thinks. He's doing bad. He's doing bad.
You say par for the course. I mean, I think we're even playing bogey golf here with parenting, which is what everyone does.
Yeah, we can't say par for the course because like us dads are playing like us parents are playing like, you know, when you have your kid play golf with you, which is just like, don't worry about par. What's par, Dad? Don't
worry about it. Let's
we're
just
just
make sure
here
we
to
get to
have
the end
fun
with all our clubs,
and we're stay hydrated.
and we have enough golf balls. We're not scratch parents.
Yeah. Thanks to Verdu for the intro and the outro. Thanks, as always, to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Evan's got a joke for us.
I always do, from our book of jokes I can't believe they got published.
Stop reading from it.
What do you call a disguised noodle?
Spaghetti?
Oh, an impasta? I feel like we've read that one before. Or is it just that bad?
No, it's spaghetti.
Spaghetti? Tune into the next week's Dumb Dad podcast where we continue to edit horrible dad jokes into better jokes.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?